said, Listen, listen again, O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. For your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages.
Yes, so, it's talking about the demigods are in charge of the whole universe, representing Krishna, and they can't understand him. And the sages are even above them, the original sages in this universe who come through, through sometimes directly born from Brahma, like the Kumaras and the seven great. Anyway, it'll speak about these next. So, it's just showing how secret this knowledge actually is. And then, okay, carry on.
He who knows me as the unborn, as the beginningless, as the supreme Lord of all the world, he only, undeluded among men, is freed from all sins.
So this is the rarity of devotional service. Unborn means he never changes his body like we do. He's not conditioned to this world. So, okay,
Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
Okay, what do you think of that? So, we talked about the great sages and demigods. So the genealogical synopsis of all that, of the universal population, is that the seven great sages, then the four Kumaras, they're the Manu, and then the Manus, who they're progenitors of mankind. So even the progenitors of mankind, the source of them comes from Krishna through Manu. And the four Kumaras were originally told to procreate, if you remember, but they actually refused because they said, we want to stay brahmachari. Otherwise, they'd have been one of the procreators, and Brahma became a bit miffed about that, so he became a little bit. He kept the anger within himself, but it came out of his forehead as Lord Shiva. And then he had to, it's sometimes like that in devotional service. Nobody's paid. That's the difficulty sometimes. You want to get something done, but if you've got your own business, then you just stop paying them, so they know that, so they'll do it. But in devotional service, it's different. If you get somebody who's a little bit awkward, and he's a devotee, it's very difficult to deal with him because I think everybody's had that experience anyway. Anyway, okay, so next one. We'll change readers now. We'll have, who we got now? Anthony. I'll let Anthony go next.
Okay, text 4 to 5. Buddha Janama Sammaha Sama Satyam Damahama. Hang on, I need new glasses. Sukam Dukam Bhavo Bhavo Bayam Kabayam Evacha Ahimsa Samata Tustish Tapodanam Yaso Yasha Bhavanti Bhava Bhutanam Mata Eva Pritag Vidya. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and illusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone.
What number is that one?
That was
I just read that one.
4 and 5.
Okay, you're on 6 now.
6. Oh, 6. Mahasaya sapi sapta purve chadvaro manavastata madbhava manasojara yesham loka ima praja. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind. And all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them.
There you go, you see. I've already commented on that. So
Okay.
Which is 7.
Itam vibhutim yogam cha mama yovetti tatvata so vikalpani yogina yajati natra samsaya. One who is factually convinced of the opulence and mystic power of mind engages in unalloyed devotional service. Of this there is no doubt.
So, right, I've got a question here. One who's convinced of this opulence and mystic power, the devotees of mine, this is what's described later in the chapter, engaged in unalloyed devotional service, undoubtedly. So, is anybody engaged in unalloyed devotional service? Undoubtedly. If we are, if we're not, it means we're not convinced to some degree, right? I think, maybe it's, we can get a bit of away with a bit of sense gratification, what's the harm? Maybe it's like that. Okay. We're on to 8. Now we start the highest summit of spiritual affection is the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Generally, people know that God is great, but they do not know in detail how God is great. The following are the details of his greatness. So now we're starting with the seed verses. So, Krishna's summarizing the whole Bhagavadgita in these seed verses. It's called Chattva means 4, Sloka means verses or slokas, Chattva Sloka. They're actually describing how Bhakti is the supreme of all subject matters. And first of all, it says that, Krishna is the source of everything. So if we read the verse, maybe read one more verse.
One more verse. Text 8. Abham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti madhva bhajanti mam uda bhava samamvita. I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds.
That's actually covered everything, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Straight away. But then he's going into detail with the rest of it.
Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Yeah, so if you read that paragraph and you've got time, it's, philosophically proving from different shastras how
It's just fun. It's got a Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. You disappeared, Maharaj.
Yeah, he's just he may have lost signal, or his power run out, or I'm sure he'll be kind of running around now trying to get it back on.
Yeah. Where is he, Georgia?
Yeah, Georgie, yeah, Tbilisi, yeah. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Where are we in the text, Joe? We text 9.
Text 8. We've just done 8, haven't we?
Just done
Yeah,
8,
so
so
we
we're up
text
to
9
9. Yeah.
next, don't we?
He's back now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry about that. I've only got one adapter, and I having to keep swapping about, putting my phone in this, and then the tablet, and sometimes I switch the lead out for the computer, but forget to go to the source, the plug. And the computer's like very old, so it doesn't. So that's about 10 minutes without the apply. Anyway, that's my problem. Where do we get to now? Yeah, Buddha Bhava Samamvitaha. You're talking about the seed verses. Yeah, that Krishna is the source of Narayan. So it quotes from the different Puranas and that how Narayan is the original source of everything. Okay, so let's change readers. Maybe Don can read.
Text 9. Machita matkato prana bodhaya taha parasparam katayantas chama nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. 10. Tesham satatayuktama bhajatam priti puvakam Tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. 11.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so we think we're getting pleasure out of material, this is number 9, by the way, out of material talk. And initially we may do that, talking about material things, but then it always lets us down. Initially, we're so used to getting a quick, it's called a mode of passion. We go to a certain, certain place or talk about certain things because we like say committed, we're conditioned to doing that, and we're conditioned to getting some immediate satisfaction. And spiritual life means that we have to control that. And in the beginning, we may think it's going to be boring, I'm going to read Bhagavadgita once. But if we actually do it and absorb ourselves in it, we actually feel really satisfied. That's the thing. We have to get that taste. So, spiritual life means that we're constantly doing the things which will give us a taste. And when we're doing material things, it actually gives us a temporary material taste, and that tends to overtake the materials taste. So we have to be careful about that. So it's like, you know, it's constant endeavor. And that constant endeavor means we, you know, the more we do it, the more we're becoming actually completely absorbed in spiritual activities. So, you know, we have to tolerate the pushings and pullings of the mind, which are always rebelling against that. Yeah. And that's helpful if we've got some support. That's where we need the association of devotees. Not, you know, not association of just shoot the breeze, so to say. You know, that's it. But association which will help us spiritually. Okay. Then we're at 10. I've already explained 10 about even if we're not very intelligent, Krishna from within. If we have piti, if we have devotion or love, that's what it means, piti, then he will actually help us to advance. So devotional service is open to everybody. Buddhi yoga. Buddhi means intelligence. Yoga means those mystic activities which connect us to Krishna. Mystic, we don't know how it works, but it does. And in Prabhupada, he says in the Gita, it says the non-devotees can't understand. Oh, it's in Bhagavatam. How just by hearing about spirit, you know, hearing Bhagavatam and following the instructions of the pure devotee, we can obtain pure devotional service. It's impossible for them to understand because it's not a material thing, you know. It's actually a spiritual thing. So it says Buddhi yoga, mystic connection with mystic yoga or connection with Krishna. Is that all right? You really understand that? Okay. So yeah, there's karma yoga, jnana yoga. So karma yoga means when you know the goal of life, what you take pleasure in is but you know, when we see, just when we're not trying to enjoy materially, we're not trying to, you know, titillate our you know, philosophical intelligence. When we're just trying to seek Krishna by reading the books or performing the activities, then that's complete devotional service or complete Krishna consciousness. So it's all dependent on our motivation for performing devotional service. Okay, so when Buddhi yoga comes to that platform, it becomes bhakti yoga, which is a complete yoga. So that's the perfection of life. Okay, so read one more verse and then we can change.
Yes. Tesham ivanu kampatam aham jnanagyam tamaha nasyamyatma pavastu jnanadipena basvata. Out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Arjunu vacha param brahma param dhamma.
So okay, so I'll just stop there. Well, yeah, the shining lamp of knowledge. Deepa means illumination. Deepa means like a light. So illumination means I see. When somebody explains something, oh, I see. Is that right? So that's what it means, the shining lamp of knowledge. And once we actually see the reality, there'll be no question of actually absorbing ourselves in anything material anymore. We hear descriptions in the Brahma Samhita Chintamani Prakara Sadhana Sulta Pavitra. Lakshana Teta Shulavina Vigara Vilintan. Lakshmi Sahashisata Sambrahma Sevyamanam. Govinda Madhipurushanam Tamahamadami. It's describing the spiritual world. And, you know, when we want to see the spiritual world, you know, we become disinterested in Rotherham and Sheffield. You know, we found something superior and anywhere else for that matter. So, okay. Now we're on to 12 and 13. This is two verses together. So now, you know, Arjuna has become convinced. And so he starts to pray in the following way. So Mataji, can you read?
Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhu Ahusvam Rash
Nishaya.
Nishaya Sarve Devarshi Narada Statha Masito Devalo Vyasaha Svayam Chaiva Bravishime. Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. You are the primal God, transcendental and original, and you are the unborn and all-pervading beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Vasita, Devala, and Vyasa proclaim this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it to me."
Okay, so okay, we can go on that self-explanatory. 14.
Sarvam etat ritam manye yan mam padasi keshava nahit bhagavan yuktim vidur deva nadanava. O Krishna, I totally accept as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, know thy personality.
Is that 14?
Yes, yes.
Okay, just a minute. I see I'm not... So yeah, demigod, demon, everybody's actually one or the other. We're either a non-devotee, which is classed as a demon, or if we class as a devotee, we class as a demigod. So that covers all living entities. And, you know, even if we said that, you know, the demons we read about in the Shastras, the one on the lower planets will fight with the demigods, you know, they're far, far more powerful than we are, far, far more knowledgeable. So in that respect, it's saying, you know, that even these living entities can't understand Krishna. Even the demigods are his representatives. Okay. So we'll change readers. We've how much left to read now? We've got Jai Krishna, you not read yet. 1, 2, 3, 3.
So we're on
Okay.
we're on 15, yeah?
We're on 15 now. So let Mataji read one more, then we'll change over. Read 15, Mataji.
Swayam evatmanatmanam vitha dvan purushottama buddha bhavana buddhisha deva deva jagat pate. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O supreme person, Lord of the universe.
Yeah, in this purport, well, let me just find it, just a minute. In the purport, I'll read it to you. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the impersonalists accept Krishna as Bhagavan, or they accept his authority. Yet many liberated persons cannot understand Krishna as Purushottam, the Supreme Person. So we may know him as a Supreme Person. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Purushottam. Yet, one still may not understand that Krishna is the father of all living entities. Therefore, Arjuna addresses him as Bhuta Bhavana. And if one comes to know him as the father of all living entities, still one may not know him as the supreme controller. Therefore, he's addressed as Bhutesh, the supreme controller of everyone. And even if one knows Krishna as the supreme controller of all living entities, still one may not know that he is the origin of the demigods. Therefore, he's called Deva Deva, the worshipful demigods. And even if one knows him as the worshipful God of all demigods, one may not know that he's the supreme proprietor of everything. Therefore, he's addressed as Jagatpati. So now we can understand why different religions, they may have some understanding of the absolute truth, but all these different aspects have to be understood. Like, the Muslim religion, they've got some understanding that there's some form, but it's nearly akin to impersonalism in one respect. So they have that limited understanding. And then somebody else may have another understanding, but not the other understandings like that. So this covers all the different, well, not all of them, obviously, they're unlimited, but it categorizes, how to understand Krishna and his different names. So when we're preaching, we can always remember this 15th verse and turn to it. And then it'll help us to put the point over. That's if people are home, that is. Okay, so Jai Krishna.
Okay. Text 16. Vaktum arhas yeshana divya hyatma vibhutaya yabir vibhutir lokan imams tvam vyapya tishtasi. Please tell me in detail of your divine opulence by which you pervade all these worlds.
Yeah, the impersonalists again, they know Krishna's all pervading nature, but they don't understand that that all that nature is actually understood by a person. Okay.
Katam vidyam aham yogims tvam sada parichatayan keshu cha bhaveshu chintyoshi bhagavan maya. O Krishna, O supreme mystic, how shall I constantly think of you, and how shall I know you? In what various forms are you to be remembered, O supreme personality of Godhead?
What number was that?
That was 17.
Just a minute. Okay, it's 17. Okay, we'll go on to 18. So you read that.
Ishtarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janadanaha bhuyaha katayat riptihi shrinvato nashtime maritam. O Janardhan, again, please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulences. I am never satiated in hearing about you. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words.
So this verse tells us how Krishna will reveal himself. We want to actually understand him. you know, and if we're actually getting a taste by constantly listening, then Krishna will reveal more and more. Because at this point, when Arjuna said that, the acharyas say, you know, Krishna were very inspired to reveal to Arjuna the universal form. Okay, so 19, we'll change readers. Who's next? Prashant.
Yeah, Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare welcome.
Hare. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Hanta te kathas viswami divyaya atma vibhutaya pradhayantaya kuru shrestha nasteyanto vistaryasya me. The Supreme Personality of God had said, "Yes, I will tell you of my splendorous manifestations, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless."
So now, very shortly, we'll hear that. Okay. Just let me,
Should
you know, we have limited senses, but, you know, we can try to understand him according. So therefore, what Krishna is doing, is giving, it's like he's making it relevant to us. He's making it relevant to us. If you know, how can you describe somebody but you don't have any reference to it? So he's saying, he'll in this section, he'll be saying, of all the different things, I am the chief of all those. He's emphasizing his position as the chief of all opulences. And then so we can actually start to get, it's like a frog in the well philosophy. It's not real understanding him properly because we can't. It's just so immeasurably, beyond our conception. But he has to put it within our conception so we get some understanding, and that helps us to develop, some faith and enthusiasm. So he's talking about his vibhutis. So we go to number 20.
Yes, Prabhu. Aham atma gudakesha sarva bhutesha sthitah aham adescha madhyam cha bhutanam anta eva cha. I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings.
Okay, so we'll start to go through the different opulences and vibhutis. So that's 21 onwards.
Shall I read
Yeah.
one more? Oh, yeah. Adityanam aham Vishnur Jyotisam Ravir Amun Sumanha Marachir Marutam Asmi Nakshatram aham Sasi. Of the Adityas, I am Vishnu. Of lights, I am the radiant sun of the I am the radiant sun. Of the Mrots, I am Marichi, and among the stars, I am the moon.
Oh, yeah.
Vedanam Samavedo.
In this comment, Prabhupada says people think the stars are separate suns. He says, but they're not. It's called a star because it reflects the light of the sun. So therefore it says the moon is the king of all the stars. Carry on.
Okay.
If you've got any comments or anything like to ask, then just, interrupt.
Vedanam Samavedo Samidevanam Asmi Vasavaha Indriyanam Manaschashmi Bhutanam Ashmi Chetanaha Of the Vedas, I am the Samveda. Of the demigods, I am the Indra, the king of heaven. Of the senses, I am the mind. And in living beings, I am the living force, consciousness. Rudranam Shankarashchasmi Vitasyo Yaksha Rakshasam Vasunam Pavakaschasmi Meruhu Shikranim Aham. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva. Of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasu, I am fire, Agni. And of mountains, I am Meru.
Yeah, so in the previous verse, it talked about, what was it now? Samaveda. Why is Samaveda? Why is that they seen as being the king of all the other three Vedas? Sama, Yajur, Atharva, and what's the other one? Rig. But he's saying the Samaveda. Why? If you read the purport, the Samaveda is like very beautiful poetry when it's sung. Yeah. So that's why. Okay, carry on. Indra, the yeah, the mind's also one of the senses, subtle sense, and it's the control of all the gross senses. That's why it's considered the best. You know, you can't use your senses unless you can actually engage them by the mind. Okay. And of all living beings, I am consciousness. And we were talking about that earlier this morning in the class that, you know, people think they're actually so knowledgeable, but if they don't, you know, it's the soul which is giving life to everything. And so it's that consciousness which is allowing them to really function in this world. And that's why it's the grossest of ignorance not to understand that. Okay. So if I might be gone for a couple of minutes, but if you read through them, we can comment. So what you do, we'll split it up. 23. So maybe read, how many, what's this to read? So if there's, Jack. So read another 2 or 3, you know, opulences, verses, and then let Jack take over. And then Jack can read from maybe 10 more. And then after that, Barbara can start again. But I should be back before then anyway. I won't be a minute. Okay. So read another 3 or 4 verses, Prashant, then Jack read another 10, then Barbara take over from Jack.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah. पुरोधसं च मुख्यं मां विद्धि प्रथ बृहस्पतिं सेनानीम् अहं स्कन्धः सरसमम् अस्मि सग्रह. Of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be the chief, Brahaspati. Of generals, I am Kratikya, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Maharsinam Bhrugur Aham Grinam Asme Ekam Aksaram Yajnanam Japa Yajno Simu Shata Varanam Himalaya. Of the great sages, I am Bhrugu. Of vibrations, I am the transcendental Om. Of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa. And of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Aswathat sarva vrikshananam devasranam chanaradaha gandharvanam chitrahatah siddhanam kapilo muniha. Of all trees I am the banyan tree, and of the sages among the demigods I am the Narada. Of the Gandharvas I am the Chitrataha, and among perfected beings I am the sage Kapila. Hare Krishna, I think, Jack, you should continue.
Okay.
From 27, yeah.
Yep. Uchai Svaram Asvanam Vidimam Amrito Hababam Airamatam Gajadranam Dhanyanam Naranyam Cha Naradhipam. Of horses know me to be Uchai Svara, produced during the churning of the ocean of the ocean for nectar. Of lordly elephants I am Ayavata, and among men I am the monarch. Ayudhanam aham vajram, denunam asmi kamadhuk, prajanas chasmi kandapaha, sapanam asmi vasukihi. Of weapons I am the thunderbolt, among cows I am the sarabi. Of causes for procreation I am Kandapa, the god of love, and of serpents I am Vasuki. Text 29. Anantas Kashmi Nagnanam Varuno Yai Asam Aham Putranam Arayami Chasmi Yamaha Samyamatam Aham. Of the many hooded nagas I am Ananta, and among the aquatics I am the demigod Varuna. Of departed ancestors I am Arayama, and among the dispensers of law I am Yama, the lord of death. Praladas Chasmi Daitanyam Kalaha Kalayatam Aham Mriganam Cha Mrigendro Ham Vainatayas Cha Pakishnam Pakshinam. Among the Daitra demons I am the devoted Prahlad. Among subduers I am time. Among beasts I am the lion, and among birds I am Garuda.
Yeah, so
Bhavan.
Prahlad Maharaj is actually born of a demoniac family, Hiranyakashipu. So, you know, because he's a devotee, he's actually the king of the demons. And his grandson became Bali Maharaj, who was initially apparently a demon, but then he became a devotee also. Daitra demon. So, you know the leprechauns. A few years have picked up now. The leprechauns, they're actually Danavas. You know, they wear little hats, square pointed hats, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a Danava, this little people, but they're from the lower planets. You know, Parashuram, he's from Ireland. He says before he joined the movement, he ran the bus, and he came to the bus stop, and he saw this little man at the back of the queue. And he got this funny feeling he was going to sit at the side of him when he got on the bus. And he did. That's what he told me anyway. Got on the bus and
Yeah.
he was he didn't move. And then eventually this leprechaun, he got up and got off. And then when he was getting off the bus, he looked round and he winked at, at Parish at home. Anyway, so I don't think he'd actually tell me that unless it were actually true, you know. Okay, carry on.
Bhavanaha Pavatam Asmi Ramaha Shastra Vritam Aham Jasanam Makaras Chasmi Shrotasam Ami Asmi Jahnavi. Of purifiers I am the wind, of the wielders of weapons I am Rama, of fishes I am the shark, and of flowing rivers I am the Ganges.
Yeah, if you're swimming in the ocean, if there's a few fish go by, you don't really bother about it, do you? You know, if you saw a shark, it'd be a different experience.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Sarganam Adir Antascha Madhyam Jai Vatam Vaham Arjuna Adyatam Atma Vidyanam Vadaha Pravatadam Aham. Of all creations I am the beginning and the end, and also in the middle.
What
Oh,
is it?
Arjuna.
32?
Yeah.
Takes 32,
Okay,
yeah.
so finish here, it's 1:15. So we're on 33 next week. And you can read the reports if you want to, PowerPoint explanation.
Okay, I'll read the translation as well, yeah.
No,
Just the purport.
no, just leave that. You can read it in your own time. Everybody can read the purports in their own time.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. And so we'll read 33 next week. And we'll finish that chapter and move on to chapter 11, which is a universal form. Okay. Any questions
Right,
or any comments?
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask, is Buddhi Yoga and Gyan Yoga, are they same or different?
No, they're different. Gyan Yoga means you try to understand the absolute by our mental capacity. And real Gyan is when we're reading Bhagavadgita and Vaishnava scriptures, but there's also, impersonal Gyan, which they try to understand only the impersonal aspect of God. So they're called Gyanis, but the real Gyani actually is a devotee. But when we're talking about Gyan, it means that we're getting some taste from trying to understand through our intellect. And Buddhi Yoga means that Buddhi means intelligence. When we're using our intelligence to try and understand Krishna, so it's called yoga. Yoga means to link with God. And when that Buddhi Yoga is completely absorbed, it's called Bhakti Yoga. And our intelligence is completely absorbed. Yeah?
Yeah.
So sometimes they say Buddhi Yoga and it's referring to Bhakti Yoga.
Oh, so Buddhi Yoga is like same to Bhakti Yoga.
It's when Buddhi Yogas come to perfection, it's Bhakti Yoga.
Okay.
But it's also can be termed Bhakti Yoga. We can be called and termed Bhakti Yogis, although we're not perfect because we're following the path of Bhakti. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it can be used both ways.
Okay.
Okay, everybody. Thank you very much for your
Thank you,
you.
Maharaj.
patience.
Thank you.
I think we ought to
Thank
make it 1:15. Make it 1:15.
Okay, I'll change it next time and put it on at 10:15.
Yeah, because I'm having to tell you every week and it just gives me time. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna
Hare
Maharaj,
Krishna.
Tilakram.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Krishna.
Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Try.
Haribol.
Haribol.